Hey guys, it's Mr. G, and in this video, I'm going to continue where I left off in part 1 with number 4, use map and tic-tac-toe wins to make a block that reports the status of all possible winning triples as a list of lists, and I'm also going to make a block called 1 that's going to take in as an input either X or O and report back true if and only if that player has won the game. So in this part, I'm only going to get through 4 and 5, and if you have not watched part 1, where I did 1, 2, and 3, make sure you go back and do so before you watch this video. Now, I'm expecting that if you guys are watching this video, you've already put in quite some time trying to figure this stuff out. So make sure if you haven't, you try it first, maybe struggle for about 30 minutes, an hour first, and then watch the video if you're completely stuck. Or if you really did do it already, then you can watch this video to kind of see how I did it. Because my way is probably going to be different than your way. And I actually have no idea really how I'm going to go about doing this, so I got to kind of figure things out on the fly. So in the lab, it tells us to use map. And we're going to use map because map takes in a list and it does something to every item inside of a list. So I have a whole bunch of lists here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use map over maybe my list of wins, because that's exactly what I'm going to be going through. I'm going to be looking at every single possible winner eventually. I could use map over a list of lists, and then what I want to do is I want to look at every single item in this list, which is another list, and I want to check its status. So what that will do, because remember from last video, status of triple expects only one list, not a list of lists. So if I run map on this, what it's doing, if you look carefully, it created a list of lists where I can see like how far along or like which possible entries might become winners eventually. So for example, if you look at over here, it's row 1, but this is the first item in the list. Basically, it's telling me that at position 1 and position 2, I have 2 X's, and the last position is empty. So if you look on the board, that's exactly what I have. 1 and 2 are X's, and the last one is empty. It does not have a winning player in there, I guess, or a winning move. So what I can start thinking about doing is maybe checking every single one of these list items to see if we have XXX or if we have OOO. Because if we have XXX or OOO, then someone has won the game. If I know that there's an X and an O within the 3 slots or the 3 items, I know that no one can win that game. So maybe I don't even have to look at it ever again, or I could just kind of disregard it. And if I have empty, 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 that means that no one's placed a move in those positions. So for example, this empty, empty, empty on the bottom is probably this diagonal going across like this, okay, where 3, 5, and 7, positions 3, 5, and 7 are empty. All right, so this is going to be really useful because this map allows us to see like the state of the game, of the entire board right now. And now what I'm thinking of doing is maybe going through each item of this list of lists and checking to see if there's XXX, if there's OOO, or if there's even an empty, or empty, empty, empty. Let's actually start doing that. Let's use the for each block. Let's do that. So for each item of this list, and I'll be able to use this to kind of see like who's if there's a winner yet. So for each item of the list, I actually, first thing I want to do is I want to say, let me just like kind of start debugging it by using say. And maybe not even debugging, but I just want to see what it looks like just to make sure that this works. I want to say the item for 2 seconds. Now, the issue with this, or like one of the issues, is that if I run this right now, nothing's going to be, let me run it for 1 second, but if I run it right now, nothing's going to be displayed on the screen because this is still running in the original square, and the original square is now hidden. So I'm not going to be able to see this. So what I got to do is I'm going to actually have to click show. So I brought over the show, I clicked it, and there is my original square where it was hidden. I'm going to bring it over to the top over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this for each block that I just created, and I'm going to see what the square says. And it should say each item of the board. So let's see that. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Perfect. Okay, so there's 8 possible winners, and it's displaying exactly like what positions or what players have played whatever positions in those possible winners. All right. So I'm going to have to put show over here because I'm going to have to probably like show this original block whenever I remake the game. Now, what I want to do is, as I look at each item, I want to check to see if there's any, let's see, if there's anything empty, then that means that there hasn't been a winner declared yet. Okay, so that should make sense. So when I look at the first item, so for example, if I look at the first item of this map, let me actually pull this out so I could like just look at it like, there we go. So if I look at the first item, it's XX empty. So basically what I know is that if there's an empty, there's no winner declared yet. There's no possible winner yet. So let's do that. Let's type that code in. So if, let's use an if else there. If item contains empty, so if there's an empty in item, and I think in the lab it suggested that we use contain. So if the item contains empty, then I know that there's no possible winner yet. So I'm going to actually say no possible winner, or no winner yet at least. So I'm going to say no winner yet. Now if, let me look at my board again. Now, if we know that there is an X and an O, then that means that there's going to be no possible winner for those positions. So if I see an X and an O, there's no possible winners. Okay, so let me drag in another if block, or if else block, I should say. Let me kind of like move this stuff over. Let me get rid of these lists. Let's create some room to work in. I don't want to put it there. Let me just move this down. And if I clean up, there we go. We have some room to work with. Let me bring these up because I have to use them. There we go. Okay. So if there's an X and an O, if that item, oh, I already have the if else in there, but if that item contains, let's see, X and O, let me actually just duplicate this and duplicate this one. So if it contains X and O, then there's going to be no possible winner for the entire thing. So this line, or those positions will not have a possible winner. So I'm going to say no winner is possible for this item. Okay? Move this down a little bit. Great. So now what I'm doing is I'm checking to see if the item contains empty. And if it does, that means there's no possible winner yet. And then I'm checking to see if item contains X and item contains O, because if that's true, then there's no possible winner for that whole entire item. Otherwise, I got to see if item contains only X's. So the reason this will work is because these guys kind of like catch, like there's no possible winner if you have an empty, right? So that's like the first thing I'm checking for. There's no winners if you have empty. Then if you have X and O, there's no possible winner. All right. So if those two ifs haven't caught your thing yet, then that means there might be a winner. Yeah, I guess so, right? Because if it's not empty, if we check if there's no empties first, and there's no X's and O's in that item, then there's probably only X's or only O's. That means we have a winner. So in this else, we're going to be checking to see which is the winner. So I'm going to bring over an if else. Let me move this down again. So if else, let's see. If item contains X, then it's going to be X is the winner. So let me actually bring that over. So if item contains X, then we have X as the winner. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that X is the winner. X is the winner. Not whiner, but the winner. And if not, then that means there must be just O's. So then O is the winner. And let's actually see if this works. I'm actually not sure if it's going to, oops, just drop this off. Let me move that down. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to click the for each, and it's going to go through all 8 possible winning plays. And it's going to tell me that status. It's going to actually say things depending on what the status is. So let's see if this works. So when I click it, no winner yet, no winner yet, no winner yet, no winner yet. Actually, there's no possible winners on this entire board. So there's going to be no winners. And actually, I should change this to 1 second because 2 seconds is just way too long. Okay, so it went through the entire board and it saw that there was no winners. And as there shouldn't be, because when you look at my map, there's no place where we have just X's winning or just O's. All right, now let me actually create a winner. So XO, XO, now we're gonna have X. So I'm gonna put an X over here in the third item. I'm not sure why it kind of went invisible over here, but let's see if this detects the winner. So it should detect it really on the first try. It should say that X is the winner. So let's see if that happens. X is the winner. And then there's going to say no winner yet for all other 7 possible wins. Okay? So cool. It looks like it's working. Now, what did we have to do? Actually, let me remake this and just kind of run it again because I don't know why I have to show. Remember, I have to show my original block. I don't know why it kind of it's just that X went invisible in the third block. Maybe just snap is a little buggy. Let me make O a winner here. So let me make O a winner in the one going down. So let me put an X over here, and now this should be an O. And actually, that's so weird that X's are going invisible. That is a bug somewhere. There's a bug somewhere. Oh, I know why. Because when I accidentally dragged map inside of this block, it cleared out the X. So we don't even see the X's. So let me just fix that and let's rerun it. As you guys can see, it's so easy to make a mistake somewhere just accidentally. So now we should have our X's showing up in our board. And I'm going to, we'll go with this row over here. So I'll put an X over here, and the O is the winner. There should be one winner, and if I click this map block, you should see that item 2 should be the winner. You guys see that? It's all O's, okay? And that's exactly what the board is showing us. So 4, 5, and 6 are the winners. Let's see if it detects it. It should detect it on the second check. First one, no winner. Second one, O is the winner. Perfect. Okay, so now my game is detecting a winner. Okay, but we haven't accomplished what I said I would. So I did use map and tic-tac-toe wins to make the block that reports the status. It reported basically if there's X's and O's in all the possible winning triples, but I have to still create a block that is called 1 that takes X and O as an input and reports true if and only if that player has won the game. So we got to create a reporter here, or it could be a predicate actually, because we're going to be reporting true or false, right? So we're going to create a predicate. Let me just make a block, and we'll make it a predicate, we'll make it an operator, and we'll do 1 question mark, and we'll call it the player. Player will be the input. So I use my little shorthand of %sign player, and there we go. So we're going to check to see if that player has won. Now, the cool thing is I literally just created all the code for it right here on the left. So I can kind of drag that in and we could work with it. Let me bring that in over here. Let me expand it a bit. And now we have to report things. We have to report either true or false. So I have to check to see if this player is the winner. And if it is, then I'm going to report true if that's the winner. Otherwise, I'm going to report false if it's not. So let's see. So if the item contains empty, we don't have a winner. So I'm not going to report anything yet. We can't just say that there's a winner. Okay, so let me restart. Because we're doing a for each, we can't put a report false over here. Because, let me just show you guys what I mean. If I do this, what happens is the way that these blocks work is that as soon as you report something, you're out of that loop. You're out of the block. Okay, so you kind of cancel out everything else. So for example, if there's any empties in my first row and I report false the first time, it's never going to check the other values. So I don't want to report anything until it's absolutely done going through each item. Okay? Unless, of course, you get a winner, because once you get a winner, then you could report true, and you don't have to keep checking to see if there's other winners, right? That should make sense. All right, so I gotta remove this. I can't put the report until like the very end, basically. So what I have to do is first, okay, so let's go through this like logically. First, we're gonna check to see if the thing's empty. If it's not, then we're gonna check to see if X and O exist. And if that's true, we still don't have a winner. So I'm gonna pull this out. I don't need to say that there's a winner or no winner because that's going to take a long time. Every single time I'm checking to have to stop for 1 second for each item. Okay, it's just going to take a while. So if the item contains empty, no winner. If item contains X and item contains O, no winner. So right now I'm just going to leave them blank. Now if item contains X, now here's the problem. If I'm checking to see if item contains X, but the person is trying to see if O is the winner, then I can't really use this. I can't really use this block here. What I'm going to have to do is, actually, I guess I could use it. I could use what the person said. Let's see if item contains player, then that means that there's only X's or only O's. So if item contains player, then I could report back true, and that should give me a win. That should report back when there's a win, if that player won. That makes sense. Otherwise, it's going to be false, or otherwise that player is not going to be the winner. So let me report back false. Okay. Now, is this what I want to do? Let's see. Oh, I don't want to do this. I still have the same problem as before. If I look at the first item and there is no winner, actually, hold on, wait, does this work? If item contains player, no, this will not work. I don't think, because I shouldn't be reporting back false. So I can think of a situation right now where I would have like O, and the person's checking to see if could this work. Let me think. Let me see. Well, the problem is, if there's absolutely no winner anywhere, this isn't going to detect it. Yeah, this is not going to work. It's not going to report back anything if I don't have a winning player in the entire thing. So I actually want to remove this else, and I want to report false when it's done with everything. If we go through every single list item and we haven't found a winner, okay, then we know that it's false. So we're going to report that after everything else. Okay, and that should make sense, because otherwise we have to find like a board that has like XXX or OOO and then report false, and that might not be the case. We might go through the entire thing without a winner, and then it'll never report back false. So we have to kind of take that else out, or take the report out of the else. So I don't even need an if else. I just need an if over here. And I'm going to check to see if the item contains that player, and I'm going to report back if that player has won. It's going to report back true. If it hasn't won, then it's just going to keep going and report back false at the end of everything. Okay. In fact, I don't even want to call this player. I'm going to call this winning player. So I want to check to see if this is the winning player, and if the item contains the winning player and only the winning player's, character, which is X or O, then it's going to report back true. Now, okay, I've thought about this a lot, and now I'm going to see if this works. I don't know if this is really good code, because I'm really like not doing anything. As soon as there's an empty, I kind of just like, stop. So it doesn't really do anything for the items that don't have like any of these like conditions met, but this should work. Let me try this. Let me apply. Let me bring over my one block. And right now we have a winner. So if I do 1O and I click this, it should report back true. Awesome. And let's try, if I put X here, it should definitely report false, because X is not a winner. Awesome. So X is false. Let me restart the game. And now I don't really have to show I'm not going to show the original sprite. I'm just going to use this. Let's see if X has won so far. No, false. So I'm going to let X win right over here. And now let's see if X has won. True. 1, O, false. Okay, so it looks like it works. It looks like my logic is correct, and I'm hoping it is, because what I'm doing is I'm going through every single list item, and I'm checking to see if there's any empties, and if there are, continue, okay? If there's any X's and O's, if there are, like, don't even like bother doing anything, really. That's what my code is doing right now. But if we have an XXX, because the person typed in XXX over here, let me show you guys what I mean. If the person put in an X as the input, then I'm checking to see if item contains X. And the only way that'll work is if item doesn't have empty and item doesn't contain X's and O's. Then it can get to this line over here, and if it does contain only those letters or only those X's or O's, then it's going to report back true because we must have a winner. Once I'm done going through the entire board, if none of them have reported back true and broken out of that check, then it's going to report false. And that is like my catch-all, or my my fallback. Just in case it doesn't find a winner, it's always going to report back false after everything. And it looks like my code works. And I hope I'm not jinxing it over here. But maybe what I can do is when I click it, I can say if someone has won yet or not. Let's see, say for 1 second if someone has won, or if it's true or false. There we go. So every time I click, let me restart the game, and when I click, it should say that there's a winner. If O is a winner, actually, because I only passed in O. False, O is not a winner. False, O is not a winner. Let me make O a winner going down the middle, and false. Oh, whoops, I messed up. Let me try that again. O, see all the falses? O is not a winner yet, and this one should say true. Perfect. O is a winner. Let me go diagonally just because I know sometimes that might be buggy, or that one might be the one that messes up. Let me make O a winner going down the middle, and perfect. O is a winner, and it detected it going right down the middle. Let me do the same thing for X just to kind of test it one more time. Let's go along the bottom row. So X, false, 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 and then this one should be true when I click it. There we go, perfect. So it looks like I'm detecting the winners, and I'm reporting back true or false based on the input. Okay, so that should do it for this part. I know it's not really easy, and I'm sure that some of you guys came up with like different codes for doing the same thing, for creating the one block. I'm hoping that some of you guys came up with a different code, but this is just the way that it works in my head, I guess. So you guys can like see how I think. This might not be great because I just like left empty blocks here. But I guess if I look at what other people have come up with, there might be more like efficient strategies, because I am checking through like every single item of the board when I'm like every single move, which might not be great. Maybe what I want to do is like store this information as I'm playing the game and not having to check if like, for example, if there's an empty, like I don't have to check it again. Or if there's like X's and O's, I don't have to check it again, I should say. So maybe there's a more efficient way of doing this, but this is just the way that came like naturally to me. This is how I think about it. And you guys were able to see, like I made a couple mistakes going throughout. And right now I'm testing it just by like manually. And it might not be the best way to test it, but that's all I got for now. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully this helped you guys out in figuring out how to create that one block. And I'll see you in the next video.